the Master Sword, the blade of evil's bane, the sword that seals the darkness. One of the most powerful weapons in all of The Legend of Zelda, and definitely the most iconic. Many people believe that this sword was unbreakable. Well, except for that one commercial for the Oracle games that was actually pretty cool. But after it was shown that the sword could sustain heavy damage in Breath of the Wild, many people believed that it couldn't get any worse. Then it got worse. So how did the Master Sword break in Tears of the Kingdom? Well, to understand that, we have to understand what the Master Sword is. Originally known as the Goddess Sword, it was forged by the goddess Hylia. It was then reforged by Link after using the flames of the 3 golden goddesses, and after receiving Hylia's blessing through her reincarnation Zelda, it became the Master Sword. The sword that can only be wielded by the chosen hero, Link. Truly a weapon of divine origin and ability, its most notable trait is the power to repel evil, being able to pierce through and overpower any defense in order to smite the wicked. And with this prowess and mystical nature, it was often believed that the blade could never be broken, although it has been empowered and depowered in previous games. But there is a trait that is constantly glossed over when it comes to the Master Sword that can answer this question, and that is how the Master Sword is described to reflect that of its wielder, being the counterpart of its master, Link. And in the most dire situations, the sword will reflect its master's state. So during Link's encounter with Ganondorf's corpse in the beginning of Tears of the Kingdom, the gloom sent forth, attacking Link's arm, thus affecting his health, reflected on the blade's power as shown to be affected by the gloom as well. And with Link in such a weakened state, despite the sword being in its awakened state, proved no match for Ganondorf's power. But if this is the case, then why hasn't this happened specifically before? Well, there's an incredible answer for that. It is due to the Master Sword failing against itself. Let me explain. You know how I said the Master Sword is truly that of divine creation and origin? Well, so is the force that was empowering Ganondorf's gloom. That's right, the power of the Secret Stone. While thought to be Zonai in origin, the Secret Stones are actually divine relics that are passed down as gifts from the gods that the Zonai descended from. And there are actually theories that believe that these Zonai Secret Stones are offshoots of the Triforce itself. And while the gloom that poured forth from Ganondorf is evil in nature, it was empowered by divine strength that allowed it to contend with the very nature of the Master Sword, that allowed the gloom to overpower both Link and the Master Sword and shatter the blade, although it still retained the power to damage Ganondorf. But if it truly takes divine prowess to damage or destroy the Master Sword, then why didn't this happen before? Well, that's also easy. In most cases where Link had the Master Sword to clash against Ganondorf or Ganon, Link already had the Triforce of Courage or a Sacred Guard in order to protect him and the Master Sword from any type of mythical damage that could reflect each other. Unfortunately, Link had no such blessing when he first clashed with Ganondorf in the beginning of Tears of the Kingdom, and that is how he and the sword were overpowered and the Master Sword led to shatter. Thankfully, the sword was able to regain its blade and become stronger than ever. But after this horrific event, the Master Sword will never be the same again.